Hello everyone and welcome to my 22nd review. Today I'll be reviewing the Judas and the Black Messiah inspired album. I had heard people talking a lot on social media about a new song coming out with Nipsey Hussle and Jay-Z and was confused on what they meant. But when I saw it was tied to a movie soundtrack and seeing the rest of the track list, it got me excited for some names. I was expecting it to be definitely hard-hitting and emotional, considering it had a lot to do with, the concept of racism and more in that area. And before the review actually starts, I should say, I know I'll never know what it's like to be in their position, and I give full love to them for talking loud for what they need to change, and I fully respect them for that. Two is that I give full condolences to everyone we've unfortunately lost due to police brutality or racism in general. And finally, when I criticize a song, I am not hating on the message they are giving out. But when I do criticize, I'm criticizing the artist's performance and instrumental work. With that all out of the way, let's get into this. Cointelpro / December 4 by Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., who I think the actual movie is based on. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. And actually, researching more about who he is definitely sets more of a sadder mood considering he was assassinated at the age of 21 from gunshot wounds. I mean, there was already a sad mood set considering this is the life so many people have to go and suffer through. But the song is just spoken word or just a speech alongside a pretty good instrumental with great bass and really good drums. For how simple it is very emotional and a good opener. Not a song I would go back to, but it's definitely incredible. Fight for You by her is definitely a song that meant to be sort of an anthem. With her voice, you really want to listen. Her performance isn't nothing new, but she's usually always great. Started off simple, very groovy, then becoming so angelic with great strings and a choir, I think. The chorus on this song is great with her voice alongside the instrumental building up. Her's verses aren't too different, but the message is still strong. Not the best song, but it's definitely incredible. EPMD by Nas and Hit-Boy is another one of my favorites. It is a pretty basic song you would have maybe heard on King's Disease, but that makes sense because it has Hit-Boy production. That album was also incredible, so the song is nothing new but still great sounding. Nas definitely has a lot to say, and alongside the snappy drums makes it much more grabbing. It is pretty short, but for sure it's one of the best songs from Nas I've heard in a while. While the instrumental by Hit-Boy isn't anything new or incredible, it still fits the topic and Nas well. Welcome to America by Black Thought, C.S. Armstrong, and Angela Hunt definitely became my favorite song just by how powerful it is, with personally the best chorus on the album by C.S. Armstrong. Incredible verses, of course, by Black Thought, and beautiful singing sections that Angela Hunt provides. What makes it so more powerful is the incredible instrumental with a beautiful choir, great strings, and hard-hitting drums that fit so well alongside Black Thought. There's a lot to take in this song, especially for Black Thought, but even if you don't fully understand everything, I promise you can hear the emotion with the sadness but also hopefulness by Angela Hunt, the anger from Black Thought, and just the feeling of kind of realizing that this is the reality from C.S. Armstrong. Definitely my favorite song. What It Feels Like by Nipsey Hussle and Jay-Z was definitely the song I was more so excited the most for, considering I wondered what Nipsey would do considering he died in 2019. I haven't heard most of Nipsey, so I was excited. And of course Jay-Z usually always comes with incredible rapping. Starting off immediately with Nipsey on the chorus alongside these horns and piano, then coming in with Nipsey's verses with great drums, bass, and background vocals from I'm not sure, but looking on Genius, it's probably from James Fauntleroy. Jay-Z comes in with, of course, an incredible verse alongside a powerful instrumental with more background female vocals coming in. The outro of the song is definitely beautiful, and this isn't a song I go back to a lot personally. But after listening to it more, I should go back with just how much emotion and power is in this song. Broad Day by Hit-Boy was another pretty good song, and my introduction to Hit-Boy rapping, and he's super good. The instrumental sounds pretty basic for a Hit-Boy beat, but his rapping does make the song better. After a while, it's a beat switch with a great sample alongside some flangy drums, and I prefer this part more than the first. This is just a really well built and good sounding song with a great message. Plead the Point 45th by Smino and Saba was another song I was super excited for because I'm a big fan of both artists. With the calming instrumental with great keys and chords alongside fine drums. Smino singing on the chorus sounds so good, and alongside the drums it gets so good. And for both verses from Smino and Saba, they use the same flow, but the flow that they use is great with fast rapping, good harmonization in some sections of both of their verses. I kind of prefer Smino, but I love what Saba did, of course. His verse is kind of short. Not only his verse, but this song is going to go by fast. It's at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. What they do on the song in that amount of time is still great. It made it a top 5 song for me, definitely. Somethin Ain't Right by Masego, J and Rapsody is another top 5 for me. With one of the best hooks on this project from Masego. This was the first time I heard Masego and loved what he did. It just sounds so good with all the harmonization. His voice fits so well. You can sometimes hear the pain, which adds so much. J is of course great. His flow and voice fit so well alongside the drums and guitar. Then Rapsody is probably my least favorite on this song. She's 100% not bad whatsoever, with her doing what she usually does, batting some more parts like you're singing in some parts, and for some of other lines, using this incredible accent to her voice that fits so well. She brings more of a lively section, wherein the chorus and Jid's verse here are definitely more calm, but Rapsody brings such character to the song. But I just personally do somewhat like for it to be more calm. But what she brings to the song is incredible, and this song is definitely a top song for me. Letter to You by BJ Chicago Kid isn't a song I go back to, but now after going back it gets much better. Reminds me of a song BJ might have done on In My Mind. Has a very soul-sounding vibe to it with BJ fading so well on the instrumental that includes great guitar strings, just some simple drums, and other things I can't find out. Definitely seems like a very personal song, and with how slow this song is, it fits that message very well. Another great song. On Your Mind by Lil Durk was a song I wasn't expecting to like as much as I did because I've never listened to much Lil Durk besides some features. It's a much more personal song than I expected, with Durk singing pretty well, with the help of some auto-tune alongside a very soothing instrumental with his vocal sample and piano, with basic trap drums. This isn't my favorite song, but what Durk did was better than I expected. Appraise by White Dave and Hit-Boy was another song I didn't know what to expect going in, considering I didn't know who White Dave was. I did expect great production from Hit-Boy, which I got. This is a song, though, that definitely grew on me. For a first time listening to White Dave, I definitely love what he does with great lyrics. The beat by Hit-Boy is basic somewhat, but still great with these light keys alongside this bass and drums, and some other calming sounds I can't figure out. This definitely has the energy of making you want to listen. It is a great song, but not really a song I go back to. Still a good song and message. All Black by H.E.R is the first time listening to H.E.R, but was kind of disappointed. Not with what he's talking about. It just seems pretty basic. I've heard great things about his album PTSD, so I was expecting some more. I do like some parts, but this song isn't for me. I don't care for the instrumental at some points with these horns and basic drums. It does get a bit more lively when this electric guitar comes in. His rapping does kind of seem offbeat most times, but it's definitely not bad rapping. Again, this isn't a horrible song, but it's not that good of a song compared to other work on this project. It doesn't seem like that good of a song to be connected to a movie soundtrack either. I'd rather have this maybe on the actual Herbo album, but there are some parts I like and do support the message, of course. I Declare War by Nardo Wick was the first time listening to Nardo Wick, and it's kind of the same deal for this song as All Black by Herbo, but this is more of a song I'd rather go back to. With the scary sounding piano loop alongside this heavy bass, really complements his voice pretty well, especially the chorus, which I do somewhat love. Him talking about, I guess, wanting revenge on racists or anyone who doesn't support the civil rights movement. Again, this isn't a song I wouldn't think fits well alongside the movie soundtrack. I do like it a bit more than All Black, but love what they did. No Profanity by Pooh Shiesty was again the first time listening to this artist. I'm assuming he's just talking about how we don't need to use violence. It's not a song I used to go back to, but I love this song so much more. With this very menacing instrumental with great chords, horns, and well-fitting electric guitar alongside the trap drums and Pooh Shiesty's rapping, it has his aggression to it that I think he did super well. It does kind of cite that this song is only 2 minutes and 10 seconds, but what he does was great. Not my favorite song, but still great. I guess a higher song in the middle. Last Main Standing by Polo was also my first time listening to this artist, but everyone talking super well about his album The GOAT, so I was excited. And after hearing it, it's definitely one of my favorites, with another instrumental with this vocal sample alongside this piano and basic trap drums, but Polo alongside the instrumental is very good. You can definitely hear a lot of emotion in his verses, and I love that. Made this song a lot better. It's not a song to go back to compared to my other favorites, but this one that's definitely growing on me, and honestly one of the more emotional songs of this project. I mean, I'm assuming they all are, but this voice just shows so much. Definitely a top 5. Respect My Mind by Dom Kennedy was another alright song. The instrumental is more livid, I guess, with these bells it seems alongside the synth and vocals maybe. Dom doesn't really fit too well in my opinion, but he still does really well. I haven't listened to much Dom Kennedy, but I do love what he did. Definitely has the vibe of making you want to listen, but another mid-song for me, I guess. Revolution by H.E.R, Herbo, Hit-Boy, and Bump J was a song I was somewhat scared that it would be bad considering I didn't care too much for the other H.E.R song. But with work from him alongside Hit-Boy production and other work from Bump J made me have hope. And this song is one of my favorite songs now, with H.E.R honestly much better on this song with so much anger it seems in his voice. The instrumental by Hit-Boy is very well. Reminds me a lot of the Devil in a New Dress instrumental, with his vocal sample alongside great drums, bass, incredibly well-fitting, and beautiful strings. Especially with H.E.R on the chorus. Bump J's verse seems pretty short, but what he does add definitely makes the song a lot better. One of my favorite songs now. Teach Me by H.E.R made me expect something good considering I love H.E.R's work and voice. And after listening to it for a while, it's definitely a top 10 song for me. By for H.E.R standards, it's not anything new really. Sounds like something that could have been on Chasing Summer. Even though I immensely love that album, I would have liked something new. But this song is still beautiful and very triumphant sounding. Definitely a top 10 song. Could be higher, but I personally would have loved more. But God, this song is so beautiful and groovy alongside being so emotional sounding. Contagious by Safe and Kiana Ledé was a song I really liked at first, and I still do, but after going back to all the other songs, it's not too interesting. It is a really good and catchy sounding pop style song with great vocals, guitar, Rhodes, and these very lo-fi drums. It definitely has a much more happy sound compared to the rest of the album, and I really don't hate this song whatsoever. There's other songs I prefer over this. The next song, which I can't say by the name of A$AP Rocky, was the song I was skeptical about because I've personally been so let down by A$AP Rocky's solo work. He was definitely a great rapper, but I don't care for his solo work. And even though I don't care for this song too much, it is one of my favorite songs from A$AP Rocky's solo discography as of now. His very New York accent fits very well alongside this piano sample, and his flow is pretty good too. His message is definitely great too. He does well in the song, has good parts, but it's not for me most of the time. The outro is just an instrumental, but it's definitely ominous, but has beautiful parts to it as well, with these synths alongside this horn, I think, and these strings maybe. Definitely make it an angelic or even hopeful sound, but also giving up the vibe of death is near at the same time. Nothing special or anything I would go back to, but still pretty good. Definitely not a bad song. Black Messiah by Rakim is in a bonus track, and was the first time I listened to solo work from Rakim. It's definitely a great song, which is a great storytelling about Fred Hampton Jr., I think. Him with a great voice and flow matches the instrumental with great vocal samples and amazing drums. Him talking about the story of Fred Hampton is so well and creative in my opinion. Maybe not personal top 10, but it's one of the best songs on this project and a great way to, I guess, actually end the album. And all I really have to say left is, Just a great body of work with a great message from, assuming, a great movie. Of course, I don't like a lot of it, but I love the messages and what they did still. Just personal preference. 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching.